for those that want to tell the truth about what's going on with other people out there in the world, perhaps using YouTube or a digital format, other people like myself that want to be putting out information, but you're concerned about your own safety and survival because of the things that are happening in the world, the people that are being locked up, the people that are being harassed, the people that are having their guns taken. There's a guy on YouTube that's been talking about, like me, the coming Chinese invasion. And they just busted down his door with a warrant, and they shouldn't even got a warrant because he didn't even do anything wrong. Somehow they were able to get themselves a warrant. They took this guy's firearms. And I'm wondering if it had anything to do with the content of his YouTube channel. The point is there a way someone can continue to share information, to be a part of the media, and they can do it anonymously? And we're talking way beyond using proxy IPs or going to hidemyass.com. Or going to some other form of the dark web. There are ways that people can contribute to society with information, but also maintain a certain level of anonymity. So another thing that I'm thinking about when I think about independent community is independent media, alternative media in the middle of nowhere that's untraced, untracked, and at some point in our future, some of us may quietly need to contact each other via mail, not internet, and start making those relationships now instead of later. And we're going to find ourselves in a far better position, a far better scenario. So food is important, not just taking and not just giving, a balance. And if we want to live in a world without rules, without regulations, live in a place where we never have to deal with police, then we need to get to know the people that we're going to be living with before we make those plans. Okay, it's just like when you're dating someone and you have great sex and you go out on the town and you go dancing, you have a great time, great drinks, great food, and then you go home and you kiss her goodnight or you kiss him goodnight, and then you meet up again a couple days ago as you talk on Facebook in between those meetups, if you even get off Facebook, in a realm and an age where Facebook has replaced normal human relationships. And most people just date, though. They don't automatically move in together. They get to know each other first, and a lot of women want to get to know a man first, or a lot of men want to get to know a woman first, some of them, before they penetrate them, before they have sex with them, before they connect with them and exchange energy and information, not just sexual fluids. Well, the same thing goes with the community. If you are living next to people that like to fight, that like to abuse each other, that like to call each other bitch, hoe, fuck, dick, I've seen it. I've seen it over and over and over. I've seen people call each other names and do things to each other in front of me with no shame whatsoever and no respect for Alex Answer to expose me. That type of domestic bullshit. Now that's disrespecting me. That's disrespecting me when you guys fight in front of me. You guys have each other. I don't got anybody. What are you doing calling her that? What are you doing that to him, calling the cops on him just to get at him? That's sick, and you're a sick person. Now, I'm not addressing anyone in particular, but I'm thinking about somebody. If you don't know the people that you are shacking up with, their ability to restrain themselves from exploding, their ability to give back and not take, their ability to respect you enough to, if they're going to explode or they're going to scream or they're going to have some sort of a panic attack, that they have the maturity to excuse themselves from the dinner table. Take a walk. Take a hike. The people that live in the area that I came from, most of them never leave. They don't go on Ute Mountain. They hardly go to the San Juans. Only a few do. They don't go skiing. They don't do this. They don't go camping. They just sit in their trailer and they drink. And I've cared about some of those people out there, and I've tried to help some of those people out there, and they have slandered me for trying to help them. As if I'm the motherfucking devil. I still have faith in the San Luis Valley. I've mentioned a lot of reasons. I've mentioned the river and access to water for a massive garden. There's lots of sun. There's good soil you can get in that area. You just may have to bring it in. You can work the soil. Add manure. There's horses everywhere. Horse manure, cow manure, bring the nutrients back to the soil. They're running around eating natural vegetables. They're not eating GMO grain. They're just roaming around. And then you mix it, water, the monsoon rains come, add some compost. You don't need to add any GMO. There are healthy foods that grow in that area, quinoa, and so many other things. I don't know all the things that can grow in that particular area. And I'm just using that as a case study because it's where I've been. It's where I've been living. Quinoa, by the way, does grow in a desert climate. Quinoa does not have to be watered every day. You just need space. What do you have out there? You have space that goes on for miles and miles and miles. How many people know that quinoa grows in the San Luis Valley? All right, I need to move on and close here. We've gone on 51 minutes. If you truly want to be free, you've got to get out of victim consciousness. And you got to believe you can do it, and you got to stop attacking other people because they're doing it. You've got to be willing to understand that the dark side allows certain information out on the internet about what they're doing to control the water and ban rainwater collection and whatnot, to get you to believe that if you were to do that, they're going to come after you. They want you to believe there's fluoride coming off the mountain, that they have that much power, that fluoride is literally coming from the air. They want you to believe that chemtrails are actually everywhere and you can't escape anything, and there's really no point. So you might as well just lay down and die. After all, humanity is a virus, right? How many people do you know believe that? The vast majority of Portland residents do. So-called fake-ass environmentalists. I think just human beings are the problem. You got to be willing to believe it's possible before it actually happens. A lot of people are in this mentality that they want to be shown it's possible before it happens. Then they'll believe. No, you need to be willing to believe, have faith, and take risks. Let me ask you a question. Are you willing to take any risks? Are you willing to get out of your comfort zone? Are you willing to work with others? Are you willing to hold your explosive temper at bay? Are you willing to stop controlling your wife? Are you willing to stop controlling your husband? Are you willing to leave your controlling husband? Are you willing to leave your controlling, manipulative, vindictive, calling the cops on you wife? Are you willing to do those things? Are you willing to actually touch the dirt, or you to believe that dirt is dirty? Do you actually have an understanding that by being in nature, you're actually cleaner, as I talked about in another video, and that nature's cleansing? Or do you think that the cities and chlorine in the water, which damages the immune system, by the way, is the only way to live, as you put on your pressed pants and your pressed shirt and your your $8 Ross tie that looks like it could be a really nice tie, but it's really just a cheap piece of shit that was made in China, and you put money in your piece of shit import car that is supporting the multinational corporations to go to work, to a abusive boss, to perhaps be someone that abuses others. If you're that kind of guy or gal, I've met them both. Met many damaged women that have been my bosses in the past that just believe it is their job to get back at man, get back at him. Just like there's some men that just want to get back at the woman. So you got to be able to evolve. On a spiritual note, your anger, your hatred, your prejudice, your racism, your laziness, your victim consciousness, if you don't even attempt in the smallest amount to free yourselves, you're going to remain a slave. There is no freedom in being a domesticated animal. There is nothing sexy about going to McDonald's. There is nothing sexy about shoving your face at the buffet just because you didn't have to cook the food. There is nothing hip, slick, or cool about putting someone else down concerning their appearance, the beliefs that they have, or the things that they say, or the spiritual understandings that they may possess. There is no power in attacking other people. All it is, when you do that, is a reflection of your own psyche, and it is a testimony to how weak and pathetic and in a way vampiric that you may have become. If we're just taking from the earth and we're not giving back and we're just taking from people, it's vampiric. And when you do it with spite, with a smile on your face, and you relish in the pleasure of hurting other people, you can even call it satanic. There needs to be a situation where we have our own tent cities, where people that are aware of what's going on come together and they watch each other's back. Those societies do not exist today. There are people that think that they exist, but you got to remember who I am. I'm someone that's put out 8 years of multimedia, alternative media. Actually, almost 9 years if we count late 2004 when I officially got started. I started taking classes at PCM in the middle of 2004, right during the Venus transit, ironically enough, of 2004. We need to have our own safe havens. What we have now is tent cities. We had Occupy. We have homes full of rainbow people. We have cults. And I mentioned all these different demographics of groups, like yoga and martial arts and basketball. They've all assembled their own thing. For those of us that are aware of the left-right paradigm, for those of us that are trying to ascend on an individual conscious level, that have separated from the mind control, that we're all going to collectively shift together and go kumbaya, for those that get it, we have to, while we can, use this technology to find ourselves, to safeguard our future, where there may not be the abundance of technology and trinkets and baubles and grocery stores, ATMs, things of that nature. We have to find a way to go beyond all the negative things that we've read, because it's caused various degrees of mental illness. It's evident in some of the YouTube comments. It's evident in quite a few of the Facebook posts that I see my so-called Facebook friends posting. It's all of the same, and hardly anyone encouraging a call to action of peace for us to come together and develop our own state, our own county, our own community. The only solution to some of the worst case scenarios is independent colonies of freedom, where there's love, there's respect, and when you have that, when you have the basic fundamentals, you don't need police and you don't need rules. I'm going to close with this. We've been living in the police state, have we not? Yes, martial law, checkpoints, tasers, tasing granny, don't tase me, bro, drones. And yet I'm in Paonia, New Mexico, and the cops, the police department's just ritual. They're just there. If there's an accident, they'll come and respond to it, but they're not running around preying on the citizens. All right, I want you to come up with an answer before I give you the answer. How many police do you think I saw leaving the San Luis Valley, going 3 hours to Gunnison, and then going 2 hours to Paonia, a total of 5 hours, and then going back to Gunnison from Paonia, all that in a week? How many police cars do you think I saw? Now, I did see police in Paonia. They were responding to a domestic dispute. That was about it. I saw this many police. 7 hours of driving, and I saw this many police. Aren't we in a police state? I thought I lived in a police state. My God, I've got PTSD from all the different times a cop's pulled me over, and yet it's just like, take a deep breath, Alex. This is a different place. This rural part of Colorado, we're not talking Denver, but this other part of Colorado that might as well be its own friggin' planet, a part of Colorado most of you have never heard of, it feels like a place of such great peace that you've got to earn the right to even get here, which makes me wonder if there's a reason why some people aren't even drawn to live a life of peace. They don't even believe in it. So it's very, very telling. And I want to thank you all for watching this video. Again, nothing was meant to be taken personally. What I'm doing is I'm going after faulty belief systems. I'm not going after individual personalities. There's no reason for you to get, as they say, butt hurt. If you hear something that may relate to something that you're struggling with, then please, please take my advice and start being more honest with yourself and start addressing those root causes of some of the problems that you may be feeling. Thank you for watching, and just a reminder, I'm going to be on the Vinny Eastwood Show September 18th between 5 and 7 p.m. Central Time on American Freedom Radio decaying.com.